I knew that I wanted to get into radio. I did a couple of undergrad courses in radio when I was at Macquarie Uni. I heard about the AFTRS course, heard a lot about the industry contacts that you make and the practical experience you get.
I'd done a couple of short courses at AFTRS and I was blown away at the energy and the creativity and the technical skills that I learned.
So I was working and volunteering at a community radio station based in Redfern called Koori Radio. A media release for applications came across my desk and it was for me to talk about on air, but I thought I'm going to do this myself and applied, and then I got in and then came to AFTRS the next year and I thought, this is great, this is the next step, let's do it. I genuinely thought being a radio class, everyone would be quite extroverted and open and I guess just loud is probably the right word. But there were some people that were quite shy and quite timid and more introverted who obviously wanted to work behind the scenes in radio as opposed to on air.
Working 5 days a week was kind of challenging to start with. It was all encompassing, but that was fine. You got used to it pretty quickly and then it became normal.
Very quickly, I realised that firstly, AFTRS doesn't teach you just about on air. It teaches you off air and all the different shows on air, like Breakfast isn't the only one. And like what works well in different shows, like something that works in Breakfast might not work in Drive. And they teach you basically every aspect of on air, but then they also teach you like producing and, as I said, social media and like every other bit that also can work together to make good radio.
Everything we did was together and collaborating. Like I said, we've got those 4 major broadcasts, and in that you've all got a different role, but they all work together to form the little pop-up station that we're putting on for 2 weeks.
We did 4 pop-up radio stations during the year, which meant we went live to air across Australia 4 times a year for 2 weeks.
One of my favourite things from the get-go was show radio. So we had, I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks to plan for show radio. We were all new and didn't know each other, and like we'd had our own sort of like experience doing whatever it was. Some people had no experience in radio and they were like, you've got 4 weeks, you've got less than a month, sort it out. You go into the show and you're doing a full 2 week long show literally every single day.
Pretty much every broadcast gets pretty stressful. You're working for 2 weeks on a pretty strict time crunch, and they were challenging, but they were also, I know it's cliche to say, they were also the most rewarding because you work in that real time and you get that feedback. We do kind of like a daily whip around of the news and current affairs and stories, pop culture stories as well that are breaking today. Yeah, starts off the day getting you thinking about content, but also keeping you informed and keeping you kind of like an active and interested person throughout the year.
Coming from university where you've got like 400 people in your class, so you barely even get noticed, to sitting in 2 rows where everyone is getting looked at was very full on. But I think it also helps with the one-on-one learning as well.
There's something about being in a small cohort with a small group of teachers that's really personal. So I think you really get to know the teachers and your other classmates, and so you get really direct feedback. Like I've done an undergraduate degree and I've never gotten as thorough feedback on assessments as I did here. But the best feedback we got was during the broadcasts. You get air checks in all of them, which is where either one of our lecturers or someone from the industry will sit down with you and for like half an hour, just give you feedback on the actual practical work that you've just done.
They're all industry experts. They're all incredibly passionate about teaching the students the skills they need to get work in radio and podcasting, but just not the skills, also the history and the passion.
But then guest lecturers came in and out most days and especially during our broadcasts. And so you'd meet people who were like Ash London came in from Ash London Live, who's like one of the biggest night shows on radio. And she had so much to talk about hit music and it was great. But then the people that were into like talkback were like, she's not really helpful to me. So I think they get people from all those different aspects of radio as well to then give you the full rounded view of what it's like. So you get these news people, you get like the breakfast people, you get night music, you get all of it. I came in knowing that I loved radio, knowing that I this is what I wanted to do, but then I left knowing so much more about radio and knowing that I could do more than just that one job.
It gives you skills which are very, very portable. And it allows you to actually be self-contained as a storyteller. You can write it, you can produce it, you can distribute it. You can be a one-stop shop, or you can use those skills as part of a team and collaboration.
I think it was definitely beneficial for me because now I can see myself going into nearly any radio job that I want just purely because of AFTRS, the course, as opposed to prior to that I was like, I'm on air, I'm only on air, and I'm only going to be on air. Whereas now I'm like, I'll do producing, I'll do audio, I'll do social media, whatever. Give me the job and I'll do it. I'm a yes man. Like, it's great.